And tonight we're also learning more about the man who was at the center of this case, a man his friends say was just a normal guy. CBS 21's Maxine Rose continues our team coverage and joins us live in Ephrata. Maxine, what did they tell you?
Alex, today I spoke with a man named Trevor Pool. He spoke with me over video call today from his home in Williamsport, but of course we are outside the home right now where investigators have been searching through for the past couple days here. What we know from Trevor Pool is that he was a former friend of Jonathan Gerlach, and he says he met him through the music scene.
Good people can do bad things.
The more than 550 charges filed against Jonathan Gerlach is not adding up for former friends like Trevor Pool.
My reaction is it seems like something like psychosis of some sort. I just wonder what I guess would say triggered him.
Pool says he met Jonathan Gerlach around 2010 while playing at shows with his band called My Hearts of Fear. Pool says Gerlach also joined a band called Road to Milestone as a lyricist and vocalist, and both of their bands would often play at shows together until around 2018.
John was like one of my closer friends that I would hang out with, have brewskis with, and chop it up with outside of the shows. It would always just be him and I talking about, our beliefs, and he's a very empathetic guy. Like, he was always a good dude.
For someone in the heavy metal community, having an interest in oddities doesn't exactly come as a shock, Pool says. But Pool also says Gerlach never even mentioned being into it at the time.
Honestly, like he was very to himself. As far as like social media goes, it seemed like he kept it pretty minimal.
His Instagram page confirmed by documents for a search warrant. It says, quote, the 533 accounts and pages Gerlach is following revealed an abundance of accounts referencing skeleton collections, corpses, taxidermy, human skull store, oddities, and bone museums. But another alleged Instagram page of his shows more.
I think it was just kind of, it blended in. I guess my overall take generally is I never, ever would have expected him to do something like this.
And that is just a little bit of what we know so far about Jonathan Gerlach. But of course, we are actively working to find out more about those who may have known him recently, more recently, I should say. And officials have been releasing information every single day. We are staying on top of this, and we'll give you the latest as it comes. Reporting in Lancaster County, I'm Maxine Rose, CBS 21 News.
But a horror movie come to life, that's how detectives describe this Lancaster County home. And just today, authorities removed some disturbing discoveries. A man named Jonathan Gerlach is being charged after more than 100 stolen skeletons were found here. We have team coverage on this story today with CBS 21's Lily Sexton piecing through the search warrant, and Maxine Rose speaking to a former friend who is shedding light on the suspect's past. It's 5:30, I'm Alex Thill. And we're now learning Gerlach was allegedly selling some of those human remains. So let's get right into it. Lily, what evidence did police have against him before this arrest?
They had been collecting evidence against him for a while now. They were able to get physical DNA evidence from the scene of where the graves were robbed. They also were able to collect information from his social media where he's being tagged in people speaking about buying and selling these human remains from him. They also said that Lancaster police got a tip. This was all explained in the search warrant. They received a tip from someone that remained anonymous saying that a family friend that she heard through the grapevine that there is a hanging human corpse in his basement, and that did end up being true after they were able to execute this search warrant.
Wow, and Maxine, speaking of those friends, I know you were able to talk to someone who says they knew Gerlach. Does his friend say he was like this before all of this happened, or that there was any indication something like this would happen?
Yeah, so just to be clear too, I mean, this friend was not mentioned at all in the search warrant, although I do know that there were some names in that search warrant. We reached out to those people and did not hear back. But as for this former friend, he says that there was no indication that he had even any interest in oddities or collecting these sorts of things, at least to this extent, right? He explains that he was kind of into this kind of scene, but never, again, really showed interest in doing something like this.
And Maxine, how does that friend feel now knowing what's coming out about him?
I did ask him that question. You know, he speaks really highly of him, at least when he was friends with him years ago. He said that he just, you know, good people can do bad things, and that really stuck with me because it's interesting. You know, I think everybody is trying to just wrap their heads around the situation, and knowing him at an earlier stage when maybe they were closer with him or got along with him, it's just interesting to see the way things have in a way changed now, but you know, they're still trying to see the good in him.
Absolutely. I want to bring it back to Lily really quick. Lily, how long did this investigation last? When did it start? Do you know those answers?
It first started early November. That's when he's accused of robbing the gravesite for the first time. And since then, he has returned multiple times, or he's accused of returning multiple times to rob even more graves at this historic cemetery, each time leaving behind tools and sometimes leaving behind DNA evidence. So police have been collecting evidence and building a case against him for a matter of months now, since early November.
Wow, interesting stuff there, Lily. And I just quickly want to go back to Maxine before we move on. Have you also been able to parse through his social media pages, Jonathan Gerlach's? What do we know there?
Yeah, so in that search warrant that Lily is talking about there are a few accounts that are mentioned, Facebook, Instagram accounts. So we know that he had some personal accounts there, but we also know that there is another account people have sent to us that allegedly belonged to him that had multiple pictures of skulls and bones on it that he seemed to have been either buying or selling, something of that sort. So we'll talk a little bit more about Trevor, the friend's reaction to all of that next at 6.
Well, thank you both, Lily and Maxine, and we'll see you later at 6.